Hey, good morning, students. Now, in today's video lecture, we are going to study about orbitron pump, and the name to this pump is given orbitron. It's because of the orbital path of electron in the field. So, this is the schematic of orbitron pump, which is having an electrode at the center. You can see this is an electrode, and this is the grounded plate. This is a reflector plate, right? And this is also a reflector tube, and the enlarged view of the reflector plate is shown separately over here, right? And these electrodes, anode and cathode, are of titanium. So this orbitron pump is also called as orbitron ion pump, and this uses only electrostatic field to constrain the path of electrons to provide the long path for more efficient ionization of the molecules in the gas phase. So what it does basically, it does an ionization with the help of electrons in the gas phase. The orbitron name is because of the nature of the path of electron, and these electrons are having the orbital path in the field, so that's why it is called as the orbitron pump. Electron which leaves the filament can't reach the outer wall of the pump because the potential of the wall is relatively negative to the filament, right? And how much is the potential given to the walls? So that it is, we will discuss in the next few minutes. The electrons are attracted towards the central electrode, but as they leave the filament, they receive the component of an angular acceleration from which they gain the appreciable angular momentum, right? The conservation of this angular momentum prevents the electrons from moving the electron directly to the central electrode. So electrons are moving towards the central electrode, but those are not moving in a straight line or directly. Rather, it takes a spiral path or orbital path. The geometry of the cell produces fields which reflect the orbiting electrons at the end of the structure. So the electrons are effectively trapped and they can advance towards the anode, positive electrode, as they lose the kinetic energy, and the electrons can lose energy by colliding with each other with molecules or by interacting with the alternating field, right? So when there is a complete azimuthal symmetry of electronic space charge, then the loss of energy is minimum or minimal, I can say. Due to this non-uniformity, this form of energy loss is finite. The fact that an electron current makes its way to the anode even at a pressure below 10 to the power minus 10 torr indicates that electrons lose energy by other means. Other means, that means other than collision of the electrons with themselves, right? Gathering action is provided in the orbitron by the sublimation of cylindrical chunks of titanium attached to the central electrode anode. So how much is the potential applied? So the potential approaching to the 10 kilo electron volt are applied to this electrode. Thus the current required to impart the several hundred watts of power to heat the titanium chunks is moderate, and based on the rate at which the argon is pumped by an orbitron ion pump, the average length of the electron path is at least 30 meter. So this indicates that the orbitron geometry is quite effective in providing the generous ionizing or generous ionization, that is the pumping of the inert gases. So furthermore, with the continuous supply of fresh titanium on which receives the ions, there is no instability in pumping of gases, as it is observed with the magnetic types. In the larger size, one sublimator may serve several arbitron type cells. The ohmic heating greatly improves the starting characteristic, because at the higher starting pressure it is sometimes difficult to impress the sufficient voltage on the central electrode to achieve the adequate sublimation, right? So this is all about orbitron pump, and all the pumps we have discussed in the module. And let's go for the assignment based on the module number 3. Assignment number 3 is, there will be total 6 questions. The first one is, with the help of neat diagram, explain the principle and working of the molecular drag pump. With the help of a neat diagram, second question, explain the principle of a diffusion pump. Third question, write the pressure ranges of the following vacuum pump in turn. And the vacuum pumps are diffusion pump, molecular drag pump and sputter ion pump. With neat diagram, explain the principle and working of a rotary pump. The fifth question, explain the principle of sputter ion pump. And sixth question, explain the pumping speed of vacuum pump, right? So this is all about arbitron pump and the assignment based on the module number 3. Thank you.